What up, y'all? Welcome to the Dojo. It's your boy, the Mental Ninja. About to chop some wood, man. We gonna throw that shit on the fire, man, and send smoke signals to the rest of the population in this desert landscape, man. You know, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and so I know all about deserts and shit right now. I'm driving through the mountains at Mount Charleston and shit. You know, I'm looking at the moon. You know what I'm saying? We just had a new moon and the moon is fucking gone, and then all of a sudden like this little sliver appears. Now it's fucking fully visible. So first I want to give a shout out to Spirit Light Mind and Balanced Truth for subscribing to my channel, checking out some of my videos. And to Spirit Light Mind, brother, I appreciate you dropping the shout outs on your last videos you did earlier, live stream and shit, man. And yeah, man, what we doing is like I said, we here to build and shit, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I know about building and stuff, you know, I'm talking from like, you know, extremely occult, extremely esoteric perspective, is that we need to learn how the tools work. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're using our tools in the wrong fashion, like if I'm using my tools in the wrong way, it's actually a weapon. And the weapon hurts me and it hurts others, because they're going to be, if they're coming around me, they're going to come around the things I've built. And if the things I've built are on unfirm foundations with very, you know, unfavorable materials and run-of-the-mill materials, then, you know, when they come through to my temple, that temple has, it's a possibility that temple may collapse while they're in it. You know, or I may collapse while I'm in it, or whatever, you know. So a tool held the right way is for building. A tool held in the wrong way can tear down. Now, on the same sense, a tool held the right way is for tearing down, which is like, how can you even say if it's tearing down is the wrong way and tearing down is the right way, depending how you hold it? Well, it depends on what your motive, what's going on. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to tear down to rebuild? If you're doing that, then you need to have the hammer with the pointed edge, the opposite edge facing, you know, saying on the work. You know, if it's for, you know, if you're holding it in the wrong way and you're trying to build, what you're gonna end up doing is building bad shit, which is not the goal. This temple and building, you know, works on the spiritual sense, it works on the mental sense, it works on the emotional sense, it works on the physical sense, and then also works on the non-physical sense. So it is really important to learn the tools and learn how the tools are used, you know. And another thing too is like, if there's a tool that I don't have in my toolkit and I may need it, but I'm kind of like biased towards certain ideas, certain principles, and, you know, certain principalities and concepts and certain devices and shit, then I may not ever receive that tool, that gift, that tool, because that tool may lie in an area where I am completely unwilling, completely against even going into. So that's something to keep in mind too, man. And what that leads to is honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness, you know. So I'm gonna tell this story about, it's an allegory, right? And so I'm gonna use a series of allegories to explain this. And this is like some motivational self-help, character building, that's extremely occult in the way that I'm gonna tell it, okay? By using myth, by using dramatization and relating to things or something that we kind of a concept we've kind of always known about in a way that can be useful, you know, for helping to stretch and expand the current mindset state into a greater one. You know, the whole goal is for the center of the circle to understand its position. Right now, if the center of the circle is positioned in the center, then it implies the circumference of the circle, the greater circle outside of it. So it has to have a balance, and balance is harmony, and harmony is reflection, and reflection is understanding the polarities, understanding the positioning of the center to the non-center or the outer center, okay? And once you go so far out of the outer center, it now appears to be a new center with a new outer center. So these levels that we want to grow towards, we want to be able to grow up while not forgetting where we grew from. So when we encounter somebody or a situation that it appears to be a lesser frequency, a lesser vibration, or a polarity or position that, you know, I had 6 years ago or 1 year ago or whatever, there's no point in growing if I cannot remember or identify with where I grew from. You know, the tree never loses connection and loses understanding with the dirt. Even though it grows higher towards the sun, it never loses its connection with the dirt. It never, and even though as it grows towards the sun, it has never lost its connection with the sun. Matter of fact, it never grew its connection with the sun. It has always been a harmony between the sun and the tree, the dirt and the tree, the air and the tree, the water and the tree, the entire atmosphere and environment and the tree, because what the tree knows is that there is no difference between the tree and the non-tree. That's why the tree is able to be just a motherfucking tree and be so damn cool with it. You know, now I'm gonna do a little, so speaking of trees, so, you know, I'm the type of person, and, you know, I'm growing at the same time in understanding that I'm the type that can get lost in the forest. I'll be searching and seeking. I'm a truth seeker. I'm looking for understanding, and I want to elevate, and I want to become enlightened and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I know that I can become lost in the forest due to the accountability of one tree that I have discovered in the forest. And for some reason, this one tree just doesn't fit in. There's something wrong with this one tree, and I fucking, with my index finger, I have found the tree. You, sir, you know what I'm saying? I have this condemning outlook towards this tree, and I'm like, bro, yo, what's up with this tree right here, nigga? This tree right here on some other shit, my nigga. Nah, I ain't fucking with this tree. How the rest of y'all trees fucking with this one tree? Because this tree look like it's a fucking fake ass tree. It don't even like a tree like the rest of the trees. You know, the tree isn't treeing as well as the rest of the trees are treeing. And here I go, like I know what the fuck a tree does, nigga, and I'm a fucking human. You know what I'm saying? I don't have this correlation, this reflection, this understanding, this harmony with the trees. And if I did, you know, it would probably explain, oh, you know, if I did, because I don't have this, then it kind of shows why I'm in the forest looking around, and why I have found this tree, and I'm so skeptical and judgmental of this tree, and it's kind of fucked up. The tree ain't even bothering nobody. I found an ugly ass fucking tree, man, and I want somebody to do something about it. You know, and like, that sounds kind of fucking like, damn mental, what you got going on in your life, nigga? You out here in the fucking forest looking for trees to blame. Like, what, you came all the way to the forest so you can take your anger and your resentment out on a tree? I don't know what's going on with you, bro. You know, so the tree, to me, I've noticed it. And what I fail to understand about this tree is that it's a fucking tree doing exactly what it's supposed to be. I don't know if anybody's ever seen or heard of a happy tree or an angry tree, an evil tree and a good tree. You know, we can, cause, oh, well, yeah, well, there's a scary looking tree. Well, that tree is only scary in reflection to your perception of it. So what's really scary, your thoughts of the tree or the tree itself? Because with that tree scaring the fucking rest of the leaves and shit, was the tree scaring the fuck out the dirt? You know what I'm saying? Scaring the fuck out of squirrels and shit? Or did you come along and all of a sudden this tree is like just sticking out like a sore thumb? All right, now hope I ain't keep going too past where I'm supposed to be at. All right, so about this tree is like, yeah, it's just being a tree, man. It's doing exactly what it was doing is God-given right, exactly what it was supposed to be doing, exactly what it was created to do. You know what I'm saying? And I need to learn to understand that, you know what I'm saying? If there's nothing really wrong with the tree, there's something wrong with my perception of the tree. You know. And one way I like to explain it too is like, as I'm driving down the street and I come to see a sign, Mount Charleston this way, Lee Canyon that way, okay? Now, if I stop and look, if I continue driving and turn my neck all the way around to focus on this sign, I'm not looking ahead of me. And now I'm in bad trouble because I don't see where I'm going, because I focused myself. My intent is somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? The sign says Mount Charleston is this way and Lee Canyon is that way. However, I'm looking behind me at the back of the sign like, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna end up fucking crashing. So it's about intent, you know? It's important to know that it's important to be aware of the way our perception is, because our perception can, you know, divinely limit our growth. If I'm not shooting for the sky, if I'm not shooting for harmony, growing towards understanding, then I'm going to be growing towards misunderstanding and stagnation. A snake that does not shed its skin will die. A snake that is not shedding its skin is fucking dead. So it's important to always be growing, always be shedding your skin. And I ain't talking about, oh, this nigga said snake, that means evil. Nigga, have you ever seen a fucking evil snake? You ever seen a snake rob a bank? Nah, nigga, ain't no such thing as a fucking evil snake. That's Hollywood. That's comics and shit, man. That's people's minds being scared of things they don't understand. It's just a fucking animal. It's a reptile. Snake ain't fucking thinking in the woods, think about, man, you know what? I want to fucking destroy the earth, man. You know, that I fucking motherfucker stuck to the earth. Motherfucker get his food from the earth. He don't want to destroy the earth. He's a snake. He's like the squirrel's a squirrel, like the tree is a tree, doing exactly what's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's fucked up because when religious fundamentalists take these things serious, man, they're like just angry at fucking animals. The niggas is really angry at reptiles and shit and claim they ain't pagans. Where'd you get the idea of the fucking evil snake? Oh, from the Bible? I thought y'all weren't pagans. Well, we're not. Well, what the fuck you talking about snakes for? Well, but Jesus said, nigga, shut the fuck up, man. Why'd you talk about snakes for? I thought you ain't a pagan, man. You know, and cognitive dissonance sets in, and violent reactions sets in because they want to we want to defend a core belief, you know. And a lot of my core beliefs limit me. A lot of my core beliefs separate me from the fellowship of the Spirit. You know, I want to be a worthy candidate to receive and be a part of this infinite knowledge, man. So why is the universe going to give me this knowledge? Why is God or my higher power or Ra Huid, Nuit, or Hadid, Nuit, Ra or Kuwait, or Osiris, Isis, and Horus, or, you know, Chaos, Babylon, and Baphomet? Why are these motherfuckers going to give me this knowledge if all I'm looking to do is exploit the universe with it, if exploit its other creations with it? You know, the creator is within the creation. Because the creator is creating from itself. Wisdom creating itself with the knowledge of itself. You know, so I want to be able to be all excluding and never, all inclusive and never exclusive. Because the greatest way that I'm learning is through reflection. All right. So the idea of what we think is evil, right? Have you ever seen an evil cloud? Have you ever seen a misshapen cloud? Have you ever seen a fucking wrongly positioned star? Have you ever seen a misshapen constellation? Have you ever seen a leaf that's like an angry leaf? Have you ever seen an angry knee? Have you ever seen a happy knee? Yeah. What the fuck do these concepts really even mean, bro? When you put it into that kind of context, this shit sounds silly, you know? Real silly. An angry knee, nigga. I should laugh at that shit, but I say it so much. That shit ain't even funny, nigga. But that shit is funny, you know. And again, let me remind you, like, what I'm doing is like I'm really trying to, you know, subtly suggest in like the most cunning, manipulative way and talk about it freely. So, you know, you hear me do it, and if you like what I say, maybe you'll be, you know, well, Mental Ninja says, he says in a good way, you know, that shit might be useful information. That shit might be useful material for building. I want a dope temple, man. I want a temple that all people are willing to come and see. I want people to see what I've created, man, and like really look at it like, man, this is beautiful work, man, because what I'm creating is the beauty within themselves. They're coming to gawk and be in awe with their own beauty. Game recognizes game. Wisdom created itself with the knowledge of itself. When you like something, yeah, you like something that's within you that you found outside of you. When you don't like something, yeah, you don't like something that's you that you found outside of you. It's a paradox. But it's how do I grow to learn myself in reflection to the non-self? Well, let me find out what the non-self is, because there's no greater non-self than the hidden self. I need to be positioned. I need to find my polarity. You know, I'm looking for love, bro. I'm not talking about in the sheets of my girl. I got her. She's got love. She got love for the earth. She got love for life. She's got love for, you know, the challenges and shit. You know, and so going back into I'm looking for love of the universe, love of knowledge of what I don't know, man, really. And there's a lot of things I don't know. There's everything I don't know, and I want to know it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be at peace with it. You know, I want to be able to walk through life just like really at peace. But it's a supreme sacrifice to get to there, because peace implies war. So you're gonna have to war with yourself. You're gonna have to go to war with the non-self. You have to always gird it with your fucking sword and shit, you know what I'm saying? And what are you using that sword for? To cut, to slash, to hack, to rightly divide the word of truth. The truth from the lie. If you can't find the truth, look for the lie, because the apple never falls far from the tree. And you may notice that you ain't in the tree when you're looking for the truth. Hey, if anybody gets that one, you on level, you want a new level, and anybody wants to get that one. So, like I said, I'm using cunning manipulation to deliver this divine scripture, this divine math, this divine understanding and stuff, because people need to be manipulated. I know that's kind of like, oh man, this nigga an agent, nigga. Fuck you, ain't no fucking agent, nigga. I'm a convict, nigga. I'm an alcoholic, nigga, in recovery, man. 3 years sober. I'm a man driving down fucking Mount Charleston by himself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also gonna speak my mind and shit. I'm also gonna use concepts and context that fucking will freak people out, because the whole thing is shock and awe. Is to allow the mind the ability to stretch. The mind has to be shocked first to stretch. The mind has to be challenged to stretch. And there's no better way than challenging the mind is through fucking saying shit that fucking throws the mind off. Because the mind must be disoriented and hoodwinked for the mind to be able to open. The mind must be closed before it can open. So if your mind is open, we gotta snap it shut with a concept so we can open it again to a newer concept. Shedding of the skin, it's growth, it's fucking growing pains, it's birth pains. You know what I'm saying? It's the sudden trembling before that the individual wakes up in the morning, the shedding of sleep. Okay? Now, when we're talking about the idea of good and evil, it's a personal concept, honestly. And where it gets fucked up when we have religious concepts that are all pervading, thrown on top of it, because you don't get to judge from your own perspective. You get to judge from a perspective that's not your own. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous to blindly follow something just because other people follow it. You know, and they look to be good, but they're not. They're suffering inside. They're fucking suffering from depression and anxiety because they're holding on to this fucking mask that somebody else gave them, and now it's weighing them down. And then what happens is when they take off the mask, they got the real mask on under it and shit, you know, and it's conflict, nothing but conflict and shit, you know. So when we think of things that are good and evil, we need to understand that good and evil is a personal perspective. And we're scared of challenges, you know. So this one, I'm gonna go into this little, my little allegory. It's a myth, it's a metaphor, right? So you got the townspeople in the village. There's always this one motherfucking village, right? And in this fucking village, you got all these villagers, man, living their life. Farmers, you got a couple tax collectors, you got a couple bankers, you got a couple, you know, shoe craftsmen and shit, some carpenters and shit. You got the chef, the baker, the key maker, you know what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers, bro, just living their daily lives, bro. You know what I'm saying? And one of the reasons why they're living their daily lives like this is because it pays off. It's normal. It's natural to them.